Hello and welcome to week number 11 of our Introduction to Courts class. This week here we're going to be talking about arrest and bail, two significant things that occur when an officer gets probable cause where he or she will make an arrest. It's one of the most significant things that a police officer can do is when they take the freedom away from a person. And it's so important that we just make sure that it's right. As I've said throughout this course, is that in policing, there's no right way to do the wrong thing. And one of the worst things you can do is make a false arrest. You're going to put a person into jeopardy of going to jail, paying fines. And we just want to make sure that things are done correctly. And that's one of the reasons why we're going to look at the constitutionality of arrest and the arrest procedures. I've posted on the module a policy and procedure for making an arrest, when you can make an arrest, the types of arrests you can make, making an arrest with a warrant, making an arrest without a warrant, looking at exigent circumstances, looking at the constitutional values of making the arrest, the procedures that you have to go through after an arrest is made that have got to be followed. Because if you don't do it, you can have the best arrest in the world, and if you don't follow the constitutional guidelines, if you don't follow the policies and procedures, if you don't understand the elements of a crime, the arrest is going to be tossed. The district attorney is not going to take the case unless they look to see that you've done your job out into the field. Then it's up to the district attorney, the assistant district attorney, to make a determination as to whether or not those charges in the arrest are going to stick, or whether or not they're going to modify them, increase them, reduce them, dismiss them, all those things that are there. And another thing that happens is that in the booking process, one of the things in the booking process, this is where in policy and procedure, is that there's going to be oversight by a superior officer that's going to be booking the prisoner along with the house officer. They're going to look at the fact that people have certain rights, particularly to get a phone call immediately within an hour. When you look at those types of things, the type of information that you're going to get in a booking sheet, the types of situations when you Mirandize a person, when and where you Mirandize the person. We want to look at when a person wants to waive their Miranda rights, or they want to maintain their Miranda rights, the things that you have to do, how long you can keep the person as far as interrogation, what happens if the person wants to make a confession or make a statement. Nowadays is that it's highly recommended that when a person does a confession that it is recorded, it is willingly, there's no coercion involved, there's no promises made, there's all those types of things there. And another thing that happens, one of the reasons because we're in the immediate Boston area, is that you may run into a situation where you have a person from a foreign country, and that poses some other situations where you may have to notify an embassy. And then the other thing that happens if the person works in the embassy and has a certain diplomatic privileges is that we may or may not be able to make an arrest, sometimes even the most serious crimes. And so there's a section there on what's called consular notification. And all these things have to be done in order to have a successful case. The other thing that happens is after the arrest is made, is that when the person is at the station and the court is open, is that they have to be immediately taken down to the court to be arraigned. At the arraignment, the judge is going to determine whether or not the person can be released on their own personal recognizance, or whether or not the person is going to be held with bail. The bottom line that comes down with bail is only to be used to make sure that the person is going to appear in court. Cannot be used for punishment. One of the other things that happen with bail is when the court is closed, is that it's the obligation of the arresting officer and the house officer and the shift commander is that they're going to notify a clerk of courts. And that clerk of courts is going to look at the officer's probable cause, look at their application for complaint, and they're going to determine whether or not there's going to be a cash bail. Now this brings out a whole other situation regarding cash bail. More and more people are looking at cash bail holding people that can't afford the cash bail, and particularly with people that are poor and people in minority communities, is that they're being held in jail because they can't come up with a certain amount of money. Now, there's all kinds of bail reform and all kinds of things now saying that at what type of crime, when a person commits it, should they be held on cash bail? Or should there be no cash bail at all? Should everything be done with personal recognizance? You're going to see where the Suffolk County District Attorney, Rachel Rollins, she's initiated some new things in the Boston area, which has been controversial, but she is prodding on. She's doing a great job as far as that goes. She's starting to make things more fair for everybody. Then you're going to look at a thing called the question of bail from the New York Times, and you're going to see how bail can affect a person in their freedom. And the thing that happens is that even here and up to Middleton, at the Middleton Essex County House of Correction, is sometimes almost half of the inmates up there they are being held because they can't make bail. And so there's all kinds of different reforms. There's a new group out there that's posting bail for people that has had some situations where people that have been had their bail posted by these organizations, that person has committed a crime. But fortunately, the majority of people that are on bail, they're not going to recommit a crime. They're going to do those things there. So I wanted you to take the time to read these policies in that article. And then there's an interactive part of this where you're going to click on a link and you're going to put yourself in a situation where you're going to pick the type of crime that you've committed, whether it be drugs or shoplifting, or a couple of other things there. And then you're going to put the situation and see what your chances of having bail would be done, would happen with that. So it's kind of an interesting exercise to do, and you're going to report back to me on that. So I look forward to seeing your replies to the questions, and any questions that you may have of me or for me, be able to answer those. Again, I'm available anytime anybody wants to text me. You have my number. You want to email me. You want to call me. We can do all those things there. I know this has been a long stretch. We've just gone through the advising period. Hopefully everybody's got the classes that they need for that, but we'll be looking at those things there. But just stick in there. Take a look at those things. Take a look at the fact that the things that can happen when a person's arrested, and the reason why we want the police officers, when they do make an arrest, to make it a good arrest, and to be able to look at those things there. So have a good week. Enjoy the warm weather that's predicted for next week, and I'll be looking forward to your replies. Take care and stay safe, stay healthy, and hopefully we'll get through all this. So take care.